Namaste. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for choosing to be here today. My name is Kristyn and I'm so excited to guide you through this mini yoga asana practice, this sadhana to explore the sacral chakra or Svadhistana chakra. This is the second chakra along the 7-chakra system, and it's located in the region of the low belly, just below the navel, in the region of the sexual organs, the hips, and the low back. Today's practice is designed to introduce you to postures, asanas, breathing techniques or pranayama, and meditation experiences for you to really open up and to activate the sacral chakra. This chakra really resonates with the element of water and encourages our ability to be able to flow through life with a deep sense of ease and grace, to be able to let go of emotions or any of the things that might be holding us back. It helps us to develop an emotional sense of resiliency. So when you're ready, let's get started. Today, I invite you to reach for a yoga mat and maybe just 1 or 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, you can always reach for a pillow, a stack of books, a cushion. You can get really creative in your at-home practice. And when you're ready, we'll get started in a comfortable seated position, finding Sukhasana, easy or sweet pose, and allow it to be just that. So you can cross the ankles, you can slide a prop underneath your seat, help to bring the earth up to you, dropping the knees down below the hips so that you can relieve any lingering tension in the space of the hips. As well, if you're feeling more called to, you can always extend the legs out long, or even to come to seat on top of the knees or the shins. When you're ready, allow your hands to rest comfortably on your thighs or maybe in your lap, somewhere that feels really natural, somewhere that feels really organic. Taking a moment here to sit up nice and tall, really grounding into the sitting bones, and just allowing the crown of the head to reach upwards towards the sky above you. Take a nice deep breath in as you bring the shoulders forward and up. And as you exhale, allow them to fall back and down, cascading down the back of the body, opening up the chest and creating space around the heart. Begin to close down the windows of the eyes or perhaps just softening your gaze. You are always welcome to just establish a drishti, a focal point, somewhere to rest your gaze. It's a gesture of beginning to let go of that grip of the external world and starting to open your awareness up to how you feel within the physical body. Perhaps scanning through the physical body, just noticing if there's any lingering points of tension or sensation. And just noticing if there's any places where you could soften, where you could relax, where you could let go. Each breath in this way becomes an opportunity for you to let go. Welcoming in the companionship of your breath here. The already present rhythm of your breath. And just being here with the flow of the breath, this ebb and flow, the natural rhythm, the waves of the breath. Just allowing the breath to be easeful and effortless, softly flowing in and flowing back out. And as you rest here in stillness, I invite you to let your awareness rest at the home, the region of Sacral Chakra, Svadhistana, located just below the navel, in the central region of the body here. in the area of the reproductive organs, the low back, sacral area, the hips and the pelvis region. Just beginning to tune into this energetic space within the body. Svadhistana chakra resonates with the color orange. So you might begin to visualize or imagine a radiant orb of orange light in this region of the body. Radiant orange light filling you up from the inside out as we start to activate and open up Sacral Chakra, the seat of our emotions, the chakra that resonates deeply with the essence of our creativity, our connection to pleasure in this life, our sense of connection to self and to others, and how we show up in our relationship to self and to others. Our ability to allow things to flow effortlessly. Feeling tones, emotions, thoughts, without holding on, without resistance. Can you be like water? And I invite you to start to deepen into the breath here. As you inhale, gently drawing the breath like a stream of water all the way down into the region of Sacral Chakra. And exhaling the breath, cascading back out through the nose. Just taking a few deep, diaphragmatic breaths here. And in your own time, start to weave in Ujjayi breath, or the ocean sounding breath, the victorious breath. Inhaling deeply through the nose. Exhaling to gently hug the back of the throat in so the exhale becomes slow and controlled and audible, like the sound of the waves or the ocean. And just being here in the experience of Ujjayi breath. Feeling into that resonance, the gentle vibrational tone in the back of the throat. Cleansing away impurities. Initiating a little bit of internal heat. Each breath, letting go of what's no longer needed here. Just a few more of your deepest Ujjayi breaths. You might stay with the experience of this breath, but when you feel complete, just let go of the technique and settle back into your natural flow of breath. Just taking a moment here to bask in the essence of Ujjayi and the wisdom of Sacral Chakra. The energies, the vital energies flowing throughout your body. The energetic anatomy of the body. When you feel ready, I invite you to gently flutter the eyes open. Relax your arms down by your sides and take a nice breath of air in as you reach the arms all the way up. Let the palms come together, and as you exhale, bring all of that energy down home to the heart center, Anjali Mudra. Again, inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more breath, flowing with the breath. Beautiful. From here, relax your arms down by your sides, ground into your right hand beside the right hip. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, and exhale, come into a gentle lateral bend. You can tuck the right elbow in towards the right hip, but stay grounded into the left sitting bone and really reach that left arm up and over. Creating length into the left side of the body, creating space for the breath. On your next breath in, come through center, reach both arms up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, take your left hand to the earth and side bend up and over to your left. Creating length from the right hip to the right fingertips. And we'll just start to flow with the breath from side to side. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, up and over to the right. Just allowing your movements to be as seamless or as fluid as the breath might be. There's no rush. Taking one more breath from side to side. In your own time, slowly find your way back up to center. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, bring the palms to touch and hands down to the heart. Good. From here, we'll come into a very gentle seated forward fold. So you're welcome to keep your support underneath your seat, or you might slide your blocker cushion out so that you can ground the sitting bones into the earth. Sitting up nice and tall, you might have one ankle on top or in front of the other. From here, lengthen through the spine, take your finger pads in front of you, and just start to walk the hands away from you. It might just be an inch or two, or maybe you can take the forearms down to a block. Maybe the forearms down to the earth. Closing down the eyes, relax the jaw. Notice where you feel sensation here. In and around the hips and the low back. Breathing into sensation. At any point throughout your practice today, you might weave back in Ujjayi breath. Connecting to the wisdom of Ujjayi and connecting to the wisdom of the element of water. When you feel complete, slowly start to walk your hands back up towards the body. Take your hands behind you, extend, uncoil the legs. You might give the knees a little bit of a shake. Maybe rock the ankles from side to side. We'll come back into Sukhasana, but find the other side. So if you had one ankle on top or in front on the other side, just switch it up. So you come to the other side. Again, sitting up nice and tall, take your fingertips in front of you and just start to introduce a forward fold. Finding a healthy edge of sensation here, never looking to experience any pain. Listening to the body, coming back home to the breath. Each breath creating a little bit more space for the next. Each breath an opportunity for you to let go. Like water, maybe letting go of tension, any lingering thoughts. When you're ready, slowly begin to walk the hands back up towards the body. Again, take the hands behind you, extend the legs out nice and long. You might give the knees a shake. From here, I invite you to bend the knees deeply. Take the knees open wide and just invite the soles of the feet to come together. Finding Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. Just take a moment here to really ground into your sitting bones. You can either draw the heels in nice and close to the body, initiating a nice deep stretch for the inner upper thighs, or you can create a little bit more space here, more of a diamond shape. and introduce that sensation more into the outer hips and the low back. I invite you to take your hands to find the feet, taking your thumbs to your inner arches. You might even introduce a little bit of abhyanga or self-massage. Personally, I think we could all use a little bit more foot massages. But when you're ready, begin to lengthen from root to crown here, sitting up nice and tall, and just allowing the knees to fall down and away from the ears. You are always welcome to take in support underneath the knees or the thighs. You can stay here or reintroduce a forward fold, hinging at the hips, bowing forward, as if you were trying to draw your navel towards the inner arches of your feet. You might take an active variation, gently using the elbows to press the thighs more open, or maybe a relaxed, restorative variation, just letting the head, the upper body hang heavy. This is a nice opportunity if you want to introduce a block or support underneath the head, supporting the weight of the head and neck in any forward fold. Breathing into the space, the region of the hips and the low back. Allowing the knees to fall heavy under the weight of gravity here. We'll just stay for a few more cycles of breath. In this mini practice, just finding a few shorter holds within each posture, knowing that you are welcome to stay and linger as long as you need. You can always catch up. When you're ready, slowly start to lift the chest up. Take your hands to your outer thighs, gently close the knees up like a book. Wrap your arms around your knees, offer yourself a gentle, loving, gratifying squeeze. And then take your hands behind you, fingertips face forward, bring the feet wide with the knees bent. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, let the knees float to the right and just puff your chest out and over to the left. Just a nice counter shape for the spine here. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, up and over in the opposite direction. A few breaths from side to side here. And just being mindful of whichever knee or shin falls inward. Finding internal rotation, not a very common place we find in yoga asana practice. Good. When you're ready, find your way back to center. From here, you can cross the ankles and make your way over into a tabletop position. Taking a moment to stack the joints, the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees. Ensure that the knees feel supported here. You can always bring in a folded blanket. You might have the toes tucked or untucked. Listen to the knees. They will tell you what feels best. From here, establish a neutral spine, lengthen from root to crown. On your next breath in, gently dip the belly low. Pull the heart forward, lift the gaze, lift the tail, cow spine. And as you exhale, gently dome the upper back, press the earth away from you. Hug navel to spine into cat. Inhale, open the chest, lift the gaze. Good. Exhale, dome the upper back. Just moving gently with breath, exploring this flexion, extension of your spine. Taking one more full cycle here through cat and cow. Good. Find your way back to tabletop. Breathe in deeply. As you exhale, draw the right ear towards the right shoulder, and then scoop the right hip up towards the right shoulder, finding a little lateral bend here, opening up into the left side of the body. Inhale, make your way to center, find your midline. Exhale, left ear towards left shoulder, and scoop the left hip up and over. As if you were wagging your tail, just moving from side to side here. Just observing the shape of the spine. One more breath on each side. Good. When you're ready, find your way back to center. From here, take your hands 2 steps forward. And then start to trace nice big circles with the hips here. Moving with the breath. Finding mindful, intentional movement. And it might be little circles, it might be big circles, just really feeling into that range of motion in the hip joints. There's no rush. And naturally, organically, when you feel called to, start to move in the opposite direction. Good. Slowly allow the circles to just become smaller and smaller. Until eventually you find your way back to center. Take the palms back towards tabletop. From here, begin to tuck the toes under. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, gently press the hips up and back into the first downward facing dog of your practice today, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So you might introduce a little bit of movement, maybe pedal out the feet. Maybe shift the hips gently from side to side, just giving the knees a little bit of a reprieve. You might shake the head, yes or no. Letting go of any tension in the cervical spine and the neck. Good. Take one more deep breath in. Lift both heels up and exhale. Bring the knees back down to the earth. Good. Keep the toes tucked. Keep the hips stacked over top of the knees. Start to walk the hands forward, coming into puppy or heart-melting pose. Open the chest and bring the forehead down to the earth. Again, lengthening from the hips to the fingertips. If this posture feels like too much, you can find a gentler variation by taking the forearms down. Maybe interlacing the fingers or just pressing the palms into the earth. And then drawing the forehead down, opening the chest. Closing down through the eyes. And just taking a few more of your deepest breaths here. When you feel ready, begin to ground into your palms, hug the navel to the spine, slowly start to lift the chest up. Walk your hands back to tabletop. Dome the upper back into cat, but this time rise up onto the finger pads and just very gently begin to sway a little bit forward and back, finding this nice counter shape for the spine. Good. From here, come back home to tabletop. Again, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. From here, take a nice deep breath in, lift both heels up. As you exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and just take a few big steps to come to the top of your mat, finding Uttanasana, forward fold. Take the feet hip width, micro bend the knees, and just let the head, the upper body hang nice and heavy here. Letting your sits bones rise up to the sky. Welcoming the decompression of the spine. You might bring your hands to rest on a block. Or maybe you take your hands to find opposite elbows. You might feel called to gently just sway from side to side. Breathing into that gentle activation in the lower half of the body and the relaxation in the upper half. One more breath. Good. Release your fingertips to the earth. Walk your hands up to your shins. As you breathe in, extend the legs long, lengthen from root to crown, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Long spine, drop the shoulders down away from the ears and hug the belly in. And then exhale, release and fold, Uttanasana. From here, bend the knees, plant the palms beside the feet or tend to your fingertips, and just step the left foot back. Finding your runner's lunge, establish the right knee over the right ankle. If you're standing on a tightrope, bring your feet hip width, and then slowly lower the back knee down. From here, again, ensure the back knee feels supported. You can bring in a folded towel or blanket, or you can fold the long edge of your mat in half, so it's like you have a double mat underneath that back knee. Now you're welcome to stay here, hands framing the front foot, or you can always bring in blocks or a stack of books. If you're working with blocks, remember that the blocks have 3 different heights that you can utilize. Just allowing the hips to fall heavy here. Opening up into the front of the left hip flexor. The left hip flexor is opening up, creating space. You're always welcome to relax and untuck the back toes. We'll just be here for a few more breaths. Now, if you feel like you're quite flexible, a little bit more receptive, and maybe you feel like you're sinking into the hip joints, you might maintain a little bit of resistance here. Gently press into the right foot so the right leg is gently active. And in our final moments here, you can stay just as you are, or perhaps you feel called to sweep the arms forward and up, finding your low lunge. Wherever you are, take one more breath in. And exhale. If your arms are lifted, take your hands back to frame the front foot. Lift the back knee. Bend the back knee and then step that left foot in all the way up to the top of your mat. Come back home to your forward fold. Again, you might take your hands to your shins or the earth this time. Inhale, halfway lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, release and fold. We'll come to the other side, so tend your fingertips to the earth. Step your right foot long and back. Come to the ball of the back foot, and then lower the back knee down. Left knee over left ankle. You can lift your gaze. You can lift the chest. Come onto blocks or books, a water bottle. Opening up into the front of the right hip flexors. If you're feeling called to deepen in again, you might sweep the arms forward and up. Without sinking into the hip joints here, gently press into the left foot, pull the left hip back, open up to the front of the right hip. Two more breaths. When you feel complete, take your hands back down, frame the front foot, lift the back knee up, and step the right foot to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Breathe in deeply, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. From here, start to heel toe your feet as wide as your mat. Have your toes out, your heels in. We'll prepare for Malasana Yogi Squat. So when you're ready, you can begin to bend the knees deeply, drop the sitting bones down towards the earth. Now, if you're experiencing any pre-existing injuries or any contraindications within the knees, please keep this pose active. You can maybe come down halfway. You can stay here, you can take your hands to the heart. If you're dropping your sitting bones all the way down, you might take a few moments here just to sway a little bit from side to side. Bring in a little bit of gentle movement. Malasana is a very deep hip opener. Taking it nice and slow. When you're ready, looking to ground into the heels here. If you'd like a little bit more support, you can always take a folded blanket underneath the heels. You might keep your fingertips in front of you here or take your hands to the heart center. Maybe use your elbows to gently press the thighs more open. Lift your heart up towards your thumbs. Drop your tail, lift your crown. A nice option for support here is to take a block underneath your sitting bones. And just adjusting your stance with the intention to ground into the heels if it's accessible for you. Lengthening through the spine, opening up the hips and the low back. Breathing into the region of the hips, into this opening sacral chakra. When you feel ready to release, take your fingertips in front of you. Shift the weight into the balls of your feet. Send your sitting bones high. Set your props off to the side. Heel toe your feet back to hip width. Take your hands to your shins or the earth. Inhale, find a reprieve, halfway lift. Exhale, release and fold. Bend the knees a lot, come down to a little squat here, and then you can sit right onto your bum. From here, we'll make a very gentle transition into deer pose. So with the knees bent, the feet facing forward, begin to sweep the right knee out to the right side, and the left knee comes in front of the left hip. A gentler variation of pigeon pose. So the left knee in front of the left hip, and you can draw the right knee out towards the right side. The right knee lands just in front of the right hip, so you land in more of this little pinwheel shape with your hips square to the top of your mat. I invite you to gently draw the left sitting bone back just a bit. And then from here, bring your hands to the earth, lift the chest, breathe in. And exhale as you start to bow forward over the left knee or shin. Coming down to the forearms or forearms to a block. Opening up into that region around into the sides of the left hip. If you're feeling curious about sensation, please know that you might feel called to bow forward over the left shin, over the left knee, or even over the left thigh. So there's a few different variations you can take here. Each variation introduces its own different form of stretch. Again, you might feel called to weave back in Ujjayi breath, the oceanic breath. And you're welcome to stay as long as you feel like you need. When you feel ready, start to lift the chest up. Stay grounded into the left hip and simply just extend the right leg out towards the right side. So you're coming into a 45-degree angle facing the top of your mat. The sole of the left foot comes to the inseam of the right leg. If your left knee is lifted, just take a block underneath that left knee. Begin by sitting up nice and tall. Take your left hand to your left hip and then turn your navel to face the left knee. We'll come into revolved head to knee pose. So from here, take your right hand and reach it towards your right shin. So introducing a lateral bend, or take the peace fingers on your right hand to reach towards your right big toe. Really stay grounded into the left hip, lengthening into the left side of the body, option to reach the left arm up and over. Now, if you'd like a little bit more support here, you can always bring a block underneath the right forearm. You can always bend the left elbow and take the hand in behind the head. Just remembering this is much less of a forward fold. So if you feel like the heart is starting to bow forward, gently just draw that left shoulder back. Breathing into the volume of the left side lung. Good, and nice and slow, start to lift yourself all the way up. Take your left hand behind you, fingertips face away from you, and your right hand meets your left knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine up, and then exhale, take a very gentle twist over to the left. Just a few breaths here. And slowly begin to unravel, come back to center. Extend both legs out forward towards the top of your mat. Again, you might give the knees a little bit of a shake and we'll come onto the other side. So bend both knees deeply. Coming into deer pose, sweep the left knee out towards the left side and the right knee comes in front of the right hip. The sole of the right foot might gently rest on the top of the left knee or thigh. Hips are square to the top of your mat, and again, I invite you to gently draw the right hip back just a little bit. Sitting up nice and tall, then begin to bow forward over the right shin, the right knee, or the right thigh. You might introduce support underneath the forehead, support the weight of the head and neck. Closing down through the eyes, deepening back into the experience of the breath. And please know that if you're ever craving a little bit more support here in deer pose, you can always take a folded blanket or a pillow underneath the right hip. You can always roll onto the back and find figure 4 shape. But Sacral Chakra invites us to let go of any resistance to what is. Accepting that the universe will provide everything that we need and that everything else will fade and fall away. Teaching us to be more like water, to flow with the universal flow of things. Letting go of any negative thoughts, anything that's holding you back. Again, you are welcome to stay as long as you need. But when you are ready, start to lift the chest up. Bring your weight into the right hip and extend that left leg out to the left side. Again, finding that nice 45-degree angle. You can take a block underneath the right knee if the right knee is lifted. Sitting up nice and tall, turn your navel to face the right knee. The right hand meets the right hip. Side bend over to the left, so reach your left hand towards your left shin. Maybe peace fingers to your left big toe. Option to reach the right arm up and over. Gently draw the right arm back, honor the side bend, revolve head to knee pose. And again, if this feels like too much for the right shoulder, you can always bend the right elbow. If you would ever like to support the weight of the head and neck, you could even bend the left elbow and support the head here with the left hand. Taking a few deep breaths into the right side lung. Good, and when you feel ready, slowly start to lift yourself all the way up. Take your right hand behind you, your left hand meets your right knee, and take a very gentle twist over to the right. Good, coming back through center. From here, extend the legs out long in front. Again, you might give the knees a little bit of a shake. From here, we'll come into a seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. So really ground into your sitting bones. If you're feeling particularly tight in your hamstrings today, just micro bend the knees. Flex the feet, take your finger pads beside the legs, sit up nice and tall. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to hinge out the hips, coming all the way forward. You might tuck your finger pads in behind the calves, the ankles. Maybe you reach for the soles of the feet. Maybe you take peace fingers to your big toes. You can bring in support, maybe a pillow, a cushion, or a block underneath the chest or the forehead. Closing down the eyes, coming back to the breath. With each breath, see if you can welcome in that quality, that sensation of letting go. Each breath deepening into your forward fold, letting go of tension, lingering thoughts, whatever is no longer needed here. If you're feeling called to stay and linger, please know that you can stay as long as you need. But when you feel ready, slowly start to roll the spine all the way back up. Lift your gaze. Again, take your hands behind you, bend the knees, take the feet wide, and just let the knees float from side to side. Good. Bring your knees to center. From here, you can take your hands to your hamstrings and slowly make your way all the way down onto the back of the body. Hug the knees up into the chest. Find a little boat pose. Allowing the head and the shoulders to rest, you might just begin to rock the knees from side to side, just starting to massage out the low back, the sacral area. You might even trace your knees in the shape of a circle, just gently moving in one direction and then the opposite direction. Good. Bring your knees to center. Take them open wide, external rotation. We'll come into blissful baby Ananda Balasana. You're welcome to stay here or thread your arms in between the knees. Reach for the outer edges of the soles of the feet. Take the feet high to the sky and drop the knees down towards the armpits. If it's more accessible to you, you can take your peace fingers to your big toes or just hands in behind the knees. Allowing the head and the shoulders to rest down, begin to ground into the entire length of the spine, even drawing the tip of your tailbone down. Feeling that spaciousness, that openness around the hips and the low back. From there, you might feel called to gently rock from side to side, drawing one knee down to the earth and then the other. Or maybe you feel called to extend one leg and then the other. Taking one more deep breath in. Exhale, hug the knees into the chest. This time wrap the arms around the knees, tuck the chin, give yourself one final gratifying squeeze. Lower your head and your feet down to the earth. Bring your feet wide, knock the knees together. Finding a counter shape in tripod pose or a pose of constructive rest. Just let the hands rest on the low belly, and you might let the tips of the index fingers and the thumbs touch, creating this little diamond shape, this energetic vortex around the home, the region of Sacral Chakra. Closing down through the eyes. Just taking a few deep breaths here. Once again, you might begin to visualize that radiant orb of orange light. Each breath expanding this light, filling you up, tapping into your creative potential, tapping into your connection to pleasure, deepening into this connection, this relationship to self and to others, developing emotional resiliency in knowing that you can choose to let go. You can choose to be free. You are welcome to stay in this shape to close your practice today. Or if you're feeling called to extend the arms and the legs out long, coming down into Shavasana, corpse pose. Take a few moments here to settle into your final posture of rest, ensuring that the body feels completely supported and comfortable and warm. Closing down through the eyes, I invite you to take a nice deep breath in through the nose and a relaxed exhale through the mouth. Letting go of tension now with each breath. Reflecting upon the essence of your practice here today and what the qualities of Sacral Chakra mean to you and to your life. You might consider in what ways could you flow through life with more ease. What are the things you're feeling called to let go of? Nothing that you need to do, and nowhere that you need to be. Simply relax back into the peaceful waves of the breath. And I invite you to stay and rest as long as you need. If you're feeling called to explore a guided meditation or a yoga nidra, I'll leave a link at the end of this video in the comments and in the description below. I'd like to thank you all so much for choosing to practice with me today. I hope that you feel open and connected to Sacral Chakra. Please let me know if you liked this video, what you liked, and what you would like to see more of as we flow through the chakras. If you're joining me here from the 200-hour Embodied Wisdom Yoga Teacher Training, please let me know that you are here by giving this video a like and a comment. Let me know where you are practicing from, and I really hope you enjoyed this exploration. I look forward to seeing you and practicing with you in future videos. If you would like to see more content from me, you might subscribe to stay notified when new content comes out each and every week. If you're feeling called to a yoga teacher training, please get in touch. I'd love to connect with you. This is an online platform where we explore the 7 chakra system over a 9-month program, but it is spacious and it is a go at your own pace. I'd like to thank you all so much, for without you, I would not be where I am. May you all be happy. May you all be healthy. May you all be peaceful. And may you all be free. Namaste.